everybody. Today we have an open topic. We could talk about anything and everything. Just doing a random live stream. You already know how that goes. Nothing specific. Just felt like hanging out with y'all, all that good stuff. So, y'all can pretty much talk about whatever y'all want to, whether it's Marvel, DC, gaming, anime, comics, or whatever is going on in this wacky industry, if you want to say. Things are kind of like funny, if you want to say, just because it's always something in this industry. Just when you think that they're fixing something and they're making it better, nah, hell nah. They just make things a lot worse than what it is. But what can we do? That's just showbiz, right? What can we do? Hopefully everybody's having a good week, all that good stuff. And like I said, we're just here just hanging out, vibing, chilling, all that good stuff. Not much going on right now. Everything's kind of quiet right now. What's up, Jack? Appreciate you for tuning in. All these notifications and everything that are, I guess, going out right now and stuff like that. So, hit the like. That helps out the channel a lot. It helps out the algorithm and all that stuff. So, like I said, right now it's kind of chill. There's not really nothing that's dropped, no major news or anything like that. But again, tomorrow Friday, of course, something always drops because I don't know, for some reason now Fridays things are starting to drop out and come out and stuff like that. What up, Raheem? Appreciate you for tuning in. James Gunn's making Christina Hudson do Batman Brave and the Bold. That's not a good thing. Yeah, I know that's not. I just made a video about that, and James Gunn's defending her and stuff like that. Like I said, nothing against her and things, but it's just her style when it comes to the movies and stuff. How she writes these stories and things. To me, it's like, yeah, I'm just not interested, honestly. Austin, what's up? Appreciate you for tuning in, also. You know, look, I am a Bumblebee and Transformers fan, but look, Bumblebee, she wrote it. It wasn't the best story wise, but I did like what Travis Knight did with with the cinematography, how he directed it, the fight scenes. I love that. I love the opening scene. So if she wrote that, then kudos to her. That was like freaking awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened after. Unfortunately, the Flash was a letdown. It could have been better, but you could clearly see that there was a lot of people that were involved with that. And what else? Oh, Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey was just garbage. Like, I try to give it a chance, but I just can't. I really can't, no matter how hard I try. And of course, Batgirl, with Batgirl. So it is what it is. What's my take on Jason Momoa's Lobo? I mean, good for him. I know he's been wanting to do that, but to me, he should have just stayed as Aquaman. And now that he's trying to defend James Gunn, it's like it just makes him more towards me, my eyes, more of a sellout. So I'm like, yo, I don't even care about him, honestly. I really don't. Gunn is doing everything he could to damage DC before he goes back to Marvel. Yeah, exactly. He was the Trojan horse, so he's just completely coming in, destroying everything, and then he's gonna just ride out. John, what's up? Appreciate you for joining us. Also, you saw the new Henry Cavill post? Yeah, actually, I was gonna put that right now. So yeah, I did see it. As was it Highlander that he's doing the reboot? That's pretty cool. I'm excited to see that. So it's good to see him back soon and stuff like that. So, and Amazon's gonna be cooking. Amazon is gonna be cooking with that. So we'll see what's gonna come. Who's to say that Batman Brave and the Bold will get made? Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, if James Gunn's contract gets extended next year after the springtime, then yeah, that movie's getting made for sure. I'm telling you straight up. Like I said, as long as if this deal does go with Netflix, remember David Zaslav is still attached. So as long as David Zaslav is still attached, he's gonna keep on protecting and helping James Gunn as much as he can. So don't be surprised if that does get extended next year. Like I said, after spring. So we got to keep a close eye on this and see what's gonna happen. Restore Flashpoint. Yeah, we really need a Flashpoint from what Zach wanted to give us originally. Nothing against her, but she's a horrible writer. Yeah, exactly. Nothing against Christina Hudson, but yeah, she's not 100% all there, with her writing and stuff like that. So, but it is what it is. Henry Cavill's Highlander photo looks great. Yeah, it really does, really does. Jason Momoa, he doesn't like James Gunn right now. I thought he was defending him. That's what I was reading and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Like I said, he should have never jumped ship. And he should have just been like, you know what? Nah, let me just stick around. But I get it. It is what it is. But yeah, to me, it's like he's more of a sellout. So I don't really care, honestly, about Jason Momoa's Lobo. I don't think that Marvel will let James Gunn back since they are resetting. Now they'll let him back. They will let him back. They will. They just won't give him, like so much probably control that he wants and stuff like that. So, and I think at this point, James Gunn has accepted it. He's stuck regardless, wherever he goes. He's not as bad as Joss Whedon in the sense of Joss Whedon burned his career completely. Nobody in the industry wants to work with him. But he did that to himself, so he straight up ruined everything. It's a shame because it's like dude did the Avengers and then he did Justice League, but you know it is what it is, and all the stuff that was floating around when they were filming it. So I'm not surprised when it comes to that. You think James Gunn will put George Clooney to play Batman Brave and the Bold? I don't know. I have no idea, honestly. That would be interesting, though. You imagine that? What a plot twist that he ends up casting George Clooney for Batman Brave and the Bold. I think they're friends in real life. They're buddy buddies. So if he brought him for the Flash, who's to say that he can't bring him back for his Brave and the Bold? That would be interesting, though. Just because it's like, oh, okay, so he pretty much was telling everybody from the beginning when he brought in George Clooney. I'm just taking it like that. That would have been interesting if like a little heads up, like, hey, this is gonna be the future Batman in my timeline. That would be interesting, honestly. You thought David loved making money, so how keeping Gunn will make him money? I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I really don't know. It's just costing them money, big time. Jason Momoa Lobo, he looks like Fast and Furious Jason Momoa. Yeah, that's who he is. Jason Momoa is Jason Momoa, always, except with makeup and a Street Fighter that he's going to be playing Blanca. He's just, again, in makeup. Orange hair and green skin. So that should be even more ridiculous. Momoa needs that money. Yeah, he really does. As soon as Gunn leaves, Restore the Gunverse will eventually happen. Nah, I know they were trying to do something with that. What it was, I don't know what it was that they were saying to release. They were trying to do like the Snyder cut, but I think they were doing something for James Gunn too. But that probably lasted like a day or two. And that's it. So yeah, that's not gonna happen for sure. For sure, he doesn't have that following like that. He's definitely going back to Marvel. Isn't there a Star Lord movie in development? Yeah, exactly, exactly, Austin. Notice how after James Gunn is not at Marvel, they haven't done anything with Star Lord, and it's been what, like almost like what, the whole time that James Gunn has been gone. We're going to like what, 5 years. So yeah, where's that Star Lord movie? Yeah, I'm telling you, Slipknot. What's up? Appreciate you for joining us. Joss Whedon was doing Batgirl a long time. He was having a hard time trying to leave WB. I don't know, honestly. I didn't even know if he was involved with that. Everything Snyder touches turns to gold, whereas everything Gunn touches crumples to dust. Yeah, pretty much. I agree with you. I agree with you, John. That's facts for sure. Vegeta, what's up? What's up? Thanks for joining us. Lobo from Krypton TV series looks better. Yeah, yeah. Look, honestly, like somebody said the other day, this Lobo literally gives a lot of vibes like what's his name? This group Kiss. So I'm like, damn, that's literally what Jason Momoa like literally he gave up Aquaman. For that, I'm like, whatever, man. Like, it is what it is, I guess. Jason Momoa said it's time to work out with the Aquaman pics. Yeah, yeah, I remember when he put out that picture. And like I said, Jason Momoa's character Aquaman, he's no longer needed when the Snyderverse is restored. And I don't want to hear no excuses. Darkseid took him out. That's a done deal. And where we left off is in the Nightmare timeline where Darkseid takes over and Mara has replaced and she's seeking revenge for what happened to Aquaman. So yeah, I really wouldn't want him back at this point anymore. Christina Hudson was copy the Iron Giant from Bumblebee writer. She's not a good writer. Sucker Punch aged well. Yeah, it did. It really did. Kiss has a new band member. I have no idea. I don't keep up with them. Um, Okay, you don't think so? I don't know. I don't keep up with so much music like that and stuff like that. It's hard to keep up with so much talent in this industry. Whether it's movies or whatever it is. And I've never been too fond of like I guess like people's personal lives and stuff. Just the ones that I really talk about when we talk about like DC and stuff like that. Even as a Marvel fan, I don't even like be all over their like their news and what they do and things like that. Yeah, Jason was better as Aquaman. He should not listen to the marks. Yeah, yeah. He should just say, you know what? Nah. The same way he was fighting for, at the time for release the air. I mean the Snyder cut. He should have just stuck around. Honestly, I think he would have had a longer lasting career. Because James Gunn's DCU. Let's be honest, it's not gonna last long. It's really not. Jason looks better. Yeah. Do you wish Ben Affleck should be in Batgirl? He was supposed to be. Ben Affleck was supposed to be in Batgirl. Remember Jim Gordon? The actor, I can't remember his name right now, but that dude, it was the same Jim Gordon that we had got in Justice League. So yeah, it was supposed to be, everything was connected and it was opening the doors for Michael Keaton's Batman Beyond, and it was gonna also they were gonna bring in Ben Affleck to start filming and things like that. But that's when James Gunn already came into the picture and he started screwing things up. So yeah, it is what it is. Where that ended and stuff. That's why I think me personally, I think James Gunn just didn't want to put out Batgirl because he knows there's a lot of stuff that are still connected to the DCEU before he came on board. So probably things connected to Suicide Squad. I'm speculating. I don't know if that's true, but I think that that's what was happening. And there was a lot of things that were like solid and they were just building up. So people were gonna ask him, "Hey, we want more of it." So I think what James Gunn just did was like, let me just retcon things. It's easier, but it's just been causing more of a mess, over at DC and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, James Gunn has just been ruining everything since day one. He really has. Referring to Jason looking like a Kiss band member. Oh, Batman Part Two and Penguin Show need to end Matt Reeves. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised after. Look, I don't even think they're gonna do a Penguin season two at this point. Nah, I don't think so. And the Batman Part Two, I think that's just gonna be the last one, and that's it. Like Matt Reeves is just gonna probably move on with his what is it, the Planet of the Apes IP and stuff. So he does that. He should just stick to what he's good at, honestly. And they've been dicking him around. Let's be real. James Gunn's been dicking him around so long. 5 years for a script to be done. Yeah, that's BS. Like that's unnecessary. Honestly, like it's just too much. J.K. Simmons. There you go. I always forget his name. I don't know why. I always forget his name. But yeah, J.K. Simmons was in Batgirl, and that's the same actor and the same Jim Gordon that we had got with the Snyderverse, of course, with Justice League. So it was all connected. Again, I think it was just James Gunn hating and saying, you know what, I can't let this happen because more people are gonna want. And you could clearly hear his intentions when what it was at Aquaman, when it got released and they had asked him, they were like, what was it supposed to connect, like all that, and he's like, oh, I didn't want it to lead anywhere, and give false hope. Dude, come on, let's be real. You know that there was so much there, and you have the power, so you just said, nah, screw this. We're gonna do what we're gonna do, and that's what we saw with Peacemaker season one, and then season two he retconned things. So yeah, again, that's just James Gunn doing that and stuff for that. The co-singer in Kiss is Gene Simmons. His nickname is the Demon. He plays bass guitar. Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of him. But like I said, I don't really keep up with them and stuff. David Zaslav might be worried. Christina Hudson do Batman DCU. I don't think David Zaslav is worried. I think David Zaslav is another shield that's actually protecting and allowing this to continue. So yeah, I am not convinced, honestly. The Equalist, what's up? What's up? Thanks for joining us. You finally made it to a live stream. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Let's see. It's a crime that we got to see Brandon Fraser as Firefly. Yeah, I think it's a crime that we didn't get to see him fully because I actually liked what I was seeing, even though he wasn't 100% Firefly in the sense like I think his costume was building up to it. It was like an origins for him. And when I saw those clips, probably like I thought like I think I saw like two clips, especially the one that I told y'all, the one that last year sometime like I think it was like sometime February when that clip leaked where it shows him fully dressed up as Firefly with a flamethrower, and then you see his I guess his goons, whoever was on his team, they were fighting Batgirl, and there was a like a motorcycle or something like that. The clip was probably like 13 seconds long, and I was like, wow, this is nice. Like I was like, damn, that looks pretty solid. And it got pulled down from the internet like literally within a few hours. I was like, oh, what are they trying to hide? You get what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay, whenever they do that, that's because they're trying to hide something. So yeah, I'm telling you. And then there was another chase scene that I saw that the fire truck was driving, and then you saw Bagger on the back with a motorcycle, and then you saw like I think it was like probably some, I don't know if it was some cars or something that were trying to chase her down. And that clip was probably like 7 seconds. I think it was probably like 6 or 7 seconds when I saw it. I was like, damn, who knows what they had on this, and of course the pictures that we've seen. So I think it's a crime that they didn't release Batgirl, and we didn't get to see any of it. But I believe one day we'll be able to see, especially once the Snyderverse gets restored. I mean, that's gonna open the door back again to the DCEU. So there's so much things that can come back and stuff like that. And if Zach does do a Flashpoint, oh, you better believe it. Like all of this from James Gunn is gonna be wiped away, just like Thanos. Boom, cease to exist type of thing. That would be cool. That would really be cool. Matt Reeves is a slow ass writer. Yeah, very very slow. He's I don't know what's going on, honestly. I really don't know. Snyder fans are already called Jason a traitor. Yeah, I've been called him a traitor. Jason Momoa has sold out a long time ago. Long time ago, honestly. The moment he said yeah he started simping for the DCU. I was one of the first ones, and a lot of people started giving me, hate because of that. Oh, you're not a real Snyder fan. I was like, I don't care. I'm calling it how it is. I'm telling you straight up. Jason Momoa he sold out. That's why I gave him the nickname Sellout Momoa, and he's a sellout. We don't need him once the Snyderverse is restored. We just don't. His character has already been replaced by Mara, so the beautiful Amber Heard. That's it. It's a done deal. That's it. We don't need him anymore. James Gunn wants a new Batman actor, probably not announced until 2026. Who knows? Probably sometime this year. We'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen this year. Remember, J.K. Simmons also played J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man films. Yeah, yeah, he was very known for that character in it. It sucks that Gunn removed Ben's Batman scenes from Aquaman 2. Yeah, exactly. And I've spoken about this a lot. But over in China, when they were screening the movie, some people actually had said, "Yeah, we saw the version with Ben Affleck." So that cut is out there. That's what I'm telling you. And then they took it down quick, and the tweets and everything, people were saying it. So that's why, like I said, there's a lot of things that are still out there floating around, and it's just sitting in a WB vault, if you want to say. But one day I have faith we're gonna see it. Batgirl has so many great actors. Yeah, it did. It had potential. It had potential. Now the writing, that's a different story. Like who knows what would have come from that. Christina Hansen was to do a Batman Beyond script, but it's all bad now. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who knows what was gonna happen with that? But I was excited to see that, especially when we were seeing the pictures when you see Michael Keaton's Batmobile, and of course you see, he's in the alley with Batgirl talking, and you see the Batmobile right there. So, and then there's another one when he's on the rooftop with Batgirl. They're talking and stuff. So, and then Ben Affleck's Batman was supposed to be there because he was supposed to be also mentoring, Leslie Grace's Batgirl, because that she was still connected and she was being introduced into the DCEU, but they were opening the door for Michael Keaton's Batman Beyond. So it was gonna open and close his career, and then we got what we got with the Flash. Because remember, the last movie we were supposed to get from the DCEU before James Gunn started his trash, it was supposed to be the Flash. And notice how they moved that up, and then they pushed Aquaman after, and I was like, what the hell? So it was like, of course, clearly just James Gunn. You could see his work and stuff. So have you seen Blade Runner 2049? WB used to make cool movies. Yeah, if I did, it's been a while. I just don't remember it, honestly. You would have loved to see Brendan Fraser as Firefly. Yeah, the same. I mean, the pictures are out there. They're pretty cool. You think Batgirl cut can try? Yeah, it could get still released. They could just put it for free. That would be cool. Can they legally release the Batgirl movies as a tax write off? Yeah, if it's a tax write off, I mean, just put it out there for free. They don't have to charge. Just put it for free. That's it. Jason Momoa will not play Lobo 2027. DCU is still a flop now. Yeah. It's not gonna get far. Why did the witch go commando to get a better grip on her broom? Oh man. Batman Brave and the Bold is probably gonna release 2050. In other words, never. Hope for something to be announced between February and March. Plus, considering Netflix buys out WB in full, I have a feeling that Zach and Kevin Smith know something. Restore Snyderverse. Yeah, I think so. Probably not 100%, but they probably have heard things. But things constantly change, so that's something that we also have to keep in mind. Things change in studios on a daily basis and constantly now, especially with this shift with WB and Netflix. It's nothing is for sure yet. They could talk all this and say all this, but in the end, we're gonna see what's up. So we'll see what happens. Chris, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Another actor could play Aquaman. Nah, Aquaman is done though. His character is already replaced by Mara. You have to look at the big picture. Amber Heard is seeking revenge against Darkseid for what he did to Arthur. Remember, she says it. She's like, I'm gonna pierce this through him for what he did to Arthur. Remember, Arthur got killed, meaning Aquaman's character. He's done. So Darkseid took him out with the laser beams under the water, and you see the trident. That's why now Mara has his trident. So it would defeat the purpose of like Aquaman is done and then recast him. Like it wouldn't make sense. It's like, yo, what the hell? Like Mero has replaced him, So yeah, it would be solid with the story just to continue with that and stuff like that. Remember IMAX on November with Batman versus Superman poll, and now Zach tagging IMAX showing Batman Ben Affleck versus Batman versus Superman in theaters. Just saying, yeah, exactly. Who knows? They're probably testing the waters. They know what's up. They know what's up. There's a lot of IMAX getting tagged and Zach posting and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. James Gunn might put Plastic Man and Batman Brave in a bowl. Knowing James Gunn, he might, but I am not. I'm just not interested in it. People want to cancel Batman Brave in a bowl. DCU James Gunn is in trouble. Yeah, I mean it's in hot water. I don't see it making it honestly. Jason needs to play Lobo because his ex-wife got his money and he has to pay child support. He needs the money. You understand, right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that is true. I forgot about that, but yeah, man, I get it, I get it, but I mean, there's so many other movies he could have gotten too, It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is at this point. Like I said, I like what Zach built, and probably Zach already knew. He was like, yeah, just remember Jason Momoa and Zach, they follow each other on Instagram, and they're probably real close friends. So he was like, yo, I'm gonna be jumping ship. You cool with it? Probably Zach was like, yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like I'll just like move around your character and screw it, while you do Lobo. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just speculating. I'm just like looking at it like if I was talking to him, I'll be like, yo, you're gonna be playing as Lobo. It'll be pointless for you to come back. You can't be taking two roles. I'm just gonna like write off your character and just give it to Mara. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking like that, from that director type of point of view. Zach is posting a lot. Ben Affleck Batman picks. Yep. It has to mean something. Yeah, for sure, it means something. Zach loves Jason. He'll never recast him. Probably not. Probably not. But it's hold on. But it's rumored that the story we know has been changed. Yeah, a lot of things have changed, Chris. That's true. There's a lot of things that have changed, and I like that. And I like that. So who knows? Who knows what could come from this? But I mean, just looking at it, this is just me looking at it. One from a director standpoint, and two as the audience. It just wouldn't make sense. Why the hell bring a character that's already pretty much dead? Unless you're gonna bring him and as an evil version like Superman. Under the control of what you call it of Darkseid. But I think at this point, I would be just like, you know what, yo, Aquaman, he's done. He's already been replaced by Mara. She's trying to get revenge for what happened. Let's just continue the story and just finish off whatever's remaining off of it. Just to me, it would make sense. What doesn't make sense to me is what Marvel's doing right now with Avengers Doomsday, that they're bringing back, Robert Downey Jr. as freaking Tony Stark. I say to me that's still Tony Stark as a variant Doctor Doom. It's like, yo, they better explain this really, really good, because if not, then his death in what it was in Infinity War was pointless, and I don't want that, because it's like, dude went out like a badass, and yo, that was wonderful how they did it. Like his story, his character done. I don't want to see no multiverse BS where it's like, yo, that was a variant, that was a nah, man. I don't. It's just gonna be pointless. Like, don't screw that up, but make it make sense. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. That's what worries me. So yeah, I wouldn't want to see that. If they were to do this and stuff. You think Zach has time to making the Dark Knight Returns when he has many more projects? Yeah, yeah. He has. He still has time. And then again, remember, he still has to come back for the 300 prequel. So what's that mean? He's gonna be back at WB. He's gonna be back at WB very soon. Now, where does Rebel Moon fall into place with Rebel Moon 3? We don't know. We know that Zach wants to do more because he said it, in an interview recently. I think it was sometime 2025. And he's like, yeah, once I'm done with what I'm working, like I want to start writing and continuing with Rebel Moon, and of course, he needs money, so the studios are paying and stuff. So right now he's doing the Brawler. I mean, not the Brawler, the Last Photograph, and then he's gonna be doing that UFC movie, the Brawler. So of course he's gonna be getting paid for that. So that's probably gonna take him like 2 years. He's right now on the Last Photograph, so he's currently working on that one. And then next year probably he's gonna start, or probably at the end of this year, sometime he's gonna start already on the Brawler. So he's gonna probably be out for another year or so. So kind of buy some time for James Gunn to kind of finish up where he's at. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn's contract gets renewed next year after spring, just to give that extra time while Zach returns and things pick up and stuff like that. But seeing things at the rate that they're going, Supergirl's not gonna make them the money that they want at the box office. It's just not. And then they're gonna try to justify it. You know, they're gonna try to justify to say, look, as long as we make budget back, they're gonna play that card again. Hey, we're good. You know, it's like it's completely pathetic at this point. You know, but yeah, he'll be back for more. Andy Muschietti, he's gonna leave Batman, DCU, might get directors. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen with that one? Why can't Momoa play two characters? Chris Evans did it. Johnny Storm, Captain America. I mean, that's Marvel again. It just causes confusion. You know, like I just look at it like that. To me, it's like, yo, he's done. That's it. Let's move on. The Hollywood what handle called Superman 2025 the best action movie. WTF? They're simping. That's all it is. They're just shilling and simping at this point. Chris Evans even reprised his role as Johnny Storm in Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, yeah, he could do it. But what they did to his character, they killed him off. You see, so it's like, yeah, I mean, they could do stuff like that, but again, you know, they're just killing off these characters where it's like, all right, so now it's bringing us to the current timeline, if you want to say, you know, that's how I took Deadpool and Wolverine. They went back and killed the old Deadpool from Fox, and then we have the more accurate one that we are right now in the MCU. So I think that's just what they were doing with that. James Gunn would try to get Batman, new Batman actor, maybe Pascal. No, I hope not. I really hope not. From what I hear, they don't explain why Doctor Doom looks like Tony in Doomsday. Secret Wars is going to explain it, apparently. All right, we'll see what's up. We will see what's up. Brandon, what's up? What's up? Glad you made it also. Let's see. You were watching Batman versus Superman warehouse scene, and that scene is still fire. Yeah, hell yeah, it's one of my favorites. I keep saying to myself, we gave this up for James Gunn's crappy DC films. Yeah, yeah. Like the other day, I was rewatching the clip. My favorite is the warehouse scene and the Batmobile scene. Those two, yo, those are my freaking favorite scenes from Batman versus Superman. Honestly, I like the fight when Batman and Superman, but the Batmobile chase, oh man, that right there just pumps me up every time. And the warehouse scene, of course, that gives a lot of Arkham vibes, you know, like the game and stuff. Christina Hudson, she might make fun of Batman villains again. What a joke, knowing her and James Gunn probably, because that's what they do. Angry Joe is worried Supergirl. It's gonna tank at the box office. Yeah, it is. It is. It's not gonna do good at the box office, unfortunately. From the rumors that's floating around the internet, Supergirl has some very questionable stuff in it. Yeah, yeah. I've been hearing some things too. I've been reading some. I don't know if it's official and stuff, but people are saying of what's to be expected, and yeah, it's not sounding too good. It really isn't. You know, and at this point, I seriously don't care. That's why I'm not really talking about it. Notice that I'm not making videos about it because one, I'm not gonna give them publicity, and two, I'm just not interested. I am not interested in what they're putting out with Supergirl. I am not interested with what James Gunn is putting out, and we should just be focused on the return of Zack Snyder, and very soon he's gonna make a comeback. You know, he's just right now, like I said, he's busy with the two movies that he's working on right now. Right now, he's occupied with the last photograph, and while he's filming, of course, he takes the time and he's still reminding everybody, "Yo, I haven't left. I'm still here. I'm ready to come back for more DC." With the Snyderverse and stuff. So he's aware, and he sees how much attention it's causing. Don't think that the studio isn't that they're not watching and they're not aware. Of course they are. They're seeing all that too, and they're reading probably comments and getting feedbacks and stuff, and probably on these lives and stuff, listening and taking notes and stuff. So they know what's up. We'll see what's gonna cook from that and stuff. While it's open for Doomsday and while it's closed for Guns Garbage Universe. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm not gonna be checking out nothing with James Gunn's this year. I am not. Supergirl. Hell no, miss me with that. I am not going to be looking at it, honestly. I just don't care. Who would you cast in a proper Supergirl movie? Sasha Kaya excluded. Um, I think I would just bring back what's already established there, just because what was her name? The one from the CW. I don't remember. I don't know if it was Melissa. I don't know. I didn't see the show. But it was, I think she was one of the last ones before the Superman and Lois show. She was pretty good. I would have brought them back, especially how they were teasing with the multiverse crossover, how they were gonna do. I would have brought her. Like she was pretty cool. I would have loved to see her. Besides Sasha Kai as Supergirl, I think it would have been cool. And it would have tapped more into the audience because now you have fans that are enjoying CW, the show, and whatever that was with the TV side, and now you have the movie. division. So you have two wins right there. And I don't know, WB is just like they do things backwards. I'm like, yo, you have all these actors and actresses, and you have a multiverse. You literally have a multiverse, much better than what Marvel has, and you're not doing anything with it. I'm like, how and why? You're not gonna make a video just to dump on it. It would be funny as hell. I don't know. It depends, honestly. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I might. I don't know. I don't know. It's like I said. I'm just not feeling what they're doing with Supergirl. I've been seeing a lot of memes out there and stuff like that. But I think that also is a double edged sword. Why? Because we did that with Superman last year, and that kind of helped the movie because people had more interest, even though people were making fun of it. It brought attention to them, and I don't want to give attention to James Gunn's DCU this year. I really don't. That's why I'm not really putting content about it and stuff. Just because it's free promotion for them. Like and I've noticed that a lot of channels are now even talking about like James Gunn and Supergirl and Clayface and all these stuff. And then the ones that I do see that are posting, they're barely getting any views, and it's like people are tired of it and stuff. They know that it's a DOA production on the way. They know Supergirl's not gonna make the numbers. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see how the internet is revolving right now. You think Zach will announce the restoration at Comic Con? Not yet. Not yet. I don't think so. Not yet. Not yet. I don't think so. Anytime. I wouldn't have high hopes of this year. Anything just because, like I said, we have to keep an eye close on James Gunn with his extension until next year. From here until he's in charge, nothing is going to get changed. Nothing is going to get announced. Nothing will shift. That's the part I've been trying to emphasize and tell everybody. That's the key word and the key point we have to look at. His extension is until spring of next year. I know for a fact nothing's going to change this year because James Gunn's still in power. David Zaslav's still attached, and he's still going to keep on protecting him. And like I said, Zach is right now busy with the last photograph, and then he's going to start filming the brawler. So it's impossible for him to come back and be like, yo, I'm going to stop that and I'm going to film more with DC. No, it's he has contracts and stuff. So he can't go against that. And then if we really want quality, he has to give 100%. He can't be like, I'm filming this one, I'm filming that one. That's what he did with Rebel Moon. Notice that he filmed Rebel Moon literally back to back. And I think it took him like what, like about like 2 years or a year and a half, something like that. And we have it though. And then he got booked with these two, and now he's busy and stuff like that. But he'll be back. He's gonna be back. There's no doubt about it. Um, Nobody's talking about Man of Tomorrow. Yeah, nobody is. Yeah, that girl, Melissa, that's the one. A Supergirl actor, she will be woke acting probably. Pedro, what's up? Restore Snyderverse, you already know it. James Gunn's finished, yeah, big time. Three Batmans. Which one will go? Gunn is out. That makes two. Which one do you guys want? The real Batman, Ben Affleck, or fake Robert Pattinson? You guys choose. Exactly, exactly. We all want Ben Affleck. We have already seen with Robert Pattinson, so I think with Robert Pattinson, like I said, the second film is gonna be a done deal, and that's it. Like they're not gonna do a third one for sure. And notice, this is why, like I said, notice at the following things that people are not really paying attention to. When James Gunn came out recently, he was asked, "Oh, are we gonna get a season 3 to Peacemaker?" He was like, "Nah, I don't think so." Like he even doesn't know for a fact, and he's the CEO of DC Studios. So what are they not telling him? That's a big red flag. And at the same time, to us, that's good because it's like, all right, that means you're not gonna get a third season. All right, cool, sweet, awesome. Now, can Superman Man of Tomorrow still happen? Yeah, it still can. Because from now, I think they're gonna start filming, or they're about, something is going on. I know they're gonna start moving with that, or they're gonna start filming. I think, I'm not sure. The point is, from here until January of next year, they almost have less than a year, and they could do it. They could start filming. They could be filming along with Supergirl, literally. James Gunn could be copying how Zack Snyder did with Rebel Moon and just film back to back. And probably once his contract is up in spring and we see that it does not get renewed, let me repeat that it does not get renewed with James Gunn, then we are on the path to goodness, because that's our clue saying, yo, okay, that's our cue right there. Yo, okay, his contract is not getting extended. But if his contract does, for whatever reason, get extended another whatever 90 days or another 6 months, whatever the hell, then we worry, because it's like, all right, nothing is going to change, because it's just not. He's under contract. And as long as James Gunn is still under contract with DC, he's going to keep on abusing his power. And that's what he's been doing. He lied to everybody. He even lied to David Ayer. Oh, I'm going to do everything that I can in my power to release the Ayer cut. No, you're not. You're bullshitting us. You're just saying that to win points with the people. And that's what he's doing. He's literally BSing everybody. Oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Dude, you're the opposite of everything that you do. Because that's just how he is. All he cares about is leaving his legacy. So when he goes to Marvel, he can look back and be like, yeah, I really wrecked DC. And that's what probably they send him over to completely, ruin DC where it's at right now. So, I don't see things changing anytime soon. You think Val Kilmer would have done Batman better under the direction of Christopher Nolan? Yeah, he would have done 3 times better than what we already had, with Joe Schumacher. Matt Reeves tried to be Christopher Nolan. Yeah, he's trying to make it too realistic, way too much. Man of Tomorrow starts filming in April. There you go. You see, it's literally about to start filming. What we're in now, January, February, March, April, in 3 months. So yeah, they could film that movie and it could come out still next year. So, and his contract is up in spring. So don't be surprised if they extended another what? 3 day, I mean 3 months, 90 days. So that would be, let's say spring ends like sometime in May. So that would be June, July, August. All right, if they extend it for another 90 days. And then that gives time for them to release Superman, Man of Tomorrow in 2027 while he's still in contract. And then that could be a done deal, and that's it. It's done for him. So yeah, like I said, we have to keep a close eye on that and stuff like that. So like I said, we just have to see all that, to see their actions. Let's see. Sam Raimi should direct Ben Affleck Batman solo movie. Nah. I want Zack Snyder. I honestly want Zack Snyder to film with Ben Affleck a Batman Dark Knight Returns movie. Not Sam Raimi, nobody else. It has to be Zack Snyder and Ben Affleck. Because then we know that the true potential is there. I don't want another director. Nothing against Sam Raimi, but I would love to see Sam Raimi probably do another project, but besides Batman, just because I want to see Zack Snyder, and that will be a huge comeback for both of them, for both Ben and for Zack. So yeah, that would be dope. That would be awesome. Sebastian Stan is playing Two Face in Batman 2 right now. Yep, that's what they're doing, recycling more people from the MCU. So that's just what DC does. How do you make a sequel to a movie, Superman 2025, that bomb? Exactly. How? Simple is James Gunn. He doesn't care. Remember, when you have a person literally like James Gunn saying, "Yeah, I don't care about superheroes. Batman is boring," and he prefers the odd characters. That's telling you everything. Dude has no care about any of these IPs. He just doesn't. He's like, "Yo, I have power and I'm gonna do what the hell I want, how I want," and that's what he's been doing. He's been doing a fantastic job at screwing things up. Unfortunately, that's what James Gunn delivers, and everything that he's putting out is slop. And the little fan base that he has, they're not enough, because if it was enough, they wouldn't be in the 600 millions. They would be in like the 900 millions, and they're not close to a billion. Jurassic World Rebirth, for crying out loud, a movie of dinosaurs last year, completely wrecked Superman at the box office. But you won't hear that from Rotten Tomatoes. You won't hear that from Variety. You won't hear that from Hollywood Reporter, Heroic Hollywood. You won't hear that from all these show companies. You know why? Because it's not convenient for them. Because to them, it's like, hey, James Gunn's cooking, even if he's flopping, but he's cooking. No, you're not, dude. Like, let's be real. Stop lying to the mass. Like, stop lying to the audience and tell them straight up, yo, that movie was trash. And that's what it is. They're just trying to sell BS. That's it. But numbers don't lie. We've been seeing all of that, and it's already proven. You think Matt Reeves can use Two Face Batman 2 with CG or makeover? Nah, he has to do practical. He has to do like actual prosthetics and all that stuff. Add the CG to when it's needed, but then add the prosthetics to the real thing to make it feel a little bit more realistic. Sam Raimi will be good for Swamp Thing. Yeah, I agree with you. He would be good for Swamp Thing. Changing the subject a bit, do you think Michael Bay will have total creative freedom in his new Transformers movie? Yeah, I think so. I think at this point, yeah, I think Michael Bay is going to be given, the freedom, because one, Paramount is no longer the one making the decision. Remember, Skydance is the one that bought out Paramount. So the team and the people that are behind Skydance have more authority, and they could say what goes, and who's to say? You imagine that they've seen some of my videos and took feedback and say, hey, look, this dude he's pretty much on point. Like we had 3 different directors, 3 different visions, and none of them worked. None of them made $1 billion. And let's be real. The last night, even though it was the last night from Michael Bay, And people could talk and crap on it all they want. It still made money. It still made money. It made more money than Bumblebee, Transformers 1, and Rise of the Beasts. And these three movies sucked, honestly. They just did. They sucked. The Last Night sucks, but it's not that bad. It still made the money. So they're like, yo, you know what? Yeah, let's go back to what was working. And this time we're going to let Michael Bay, because it's already proven that he knows what he's doing. And The Last Night, the only reason why I defend that movie for Michael Bay is because you can clearly see it. Some of y'all might not see it, and that's understandable. But me as an independent filmmaker, I can see all the drama and BS behind that movie in the sense of that's not Michael Bay. I know that's not Michael Bay. That's not. Somebody told him put this in there. Somebody told him take this out. Somebody said redo this. Somebody said let's add this. Oh, people are gonna like. It's too many things that I'm like this just doesn't make sense. And you can clearly see that that's the studio at the time, Paramount, that they were telling Michael Bay as a director, hey, we should do this and we should do that. You know what else sounds like that? When WB and the executives were telling Zack Snyder and and what's his name, David Ayer, hey, let's do it this way, let's change this, let's add that. Why? No, leave it as is. You can see the difference. When you let Zack Snyder cook, you get the product that you want. When you interfere, you get what the hell they put out. And it's proven also. Rebel Moon. You have Rebel Moon PG-13. A lot of people didn't like it. I liked it. I enjoy it. I don't mind it. And then you have the other side of the fans that are like, yo, the R rated is a lot better. That's the one they should have released. But you have to look at it. In the end, who's paying it? The studio. If the studio wants to release it a certain cut, who are we? We're nothing. And that's the same thing when it comes to, Paramount, when it comes to Netflix. And that's Netflix. That's another thing too. Look, while we're on the topic, if Netflix told Zach, hey, look, we want to put out the PG-13. That's like saying WB told Zach, hey, we want to put out the PG-13 Marvel style. It didn't work. People didn't like it. But then we got the Snyder cut, and everybody loves it. It's a global phenomenon. That tells you everything. So the same thing probably happened with Paramount. And now that Skydance owns Paramount, they're like, you know what? Now we're gonna let Michael Bay do his thing. We won't interfere, and then we'll see at the box office what he's gonna deliver. And I'm telling you right now, like it's happening. It's happening. Like trust me, it's happening. Something should get. Let me say that something should get announced this year sometime. I won't say when or where, but just know that something is going to be announced sometime this year. Let's see. Yeah, Gunn knows how to bring the oddballs and the other guys of DC and Marvel. Yeah, that's what he's good at. Why they killed the Arrowverse? Who knows? Who knows? Probably. I don't know at this point. Swamp Thing was supposed to come out in 2026, but Clayface came out first. Yeah, James Gunn, courtesy of James Gunn. That's what it is. James Gunn's fan base doesn't go to the movies. They pirate his movie. Yeah, they don't come out. Where were they? They were supposed to show up to Superman 2025. Oh, that movie's gonna make $1 billion. When they saw that it was gonna be a mess, they were like, yeah, we're jumping ship. And this is where they are right now. Notice how they've been quiet about Supergirl. The same lame excuses. It's the beginning of a new universe. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Oh, it's the beginning of a new universe. It's gonna do bad as long as we make our budget back. That's all they care about. Pathetic. Toy Story 5 will stop Supergirl's box office. That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, it is. Toy Story 5 is gonna be good. Add CG to Robert Pattinson's to where he has muscles for the Batman too. At this point, just give him a bodysuit. With all the hype and great reviews, you would think it made 2 billion. Yeah, and it didn't. It tells you everything. From Hans Zimmer, detail suits, to the MCU knockoff. What a joke. Yep, I agree with you. I agree with you. They gave up quality for completely basic generic stuff. And then the fake fans are like, oh, we're eating. No, you're not. You ain't eating nothing, not even the costumes. Batman Brave and the Bold will be scrapped. James Gunn. Rise of the Beast did suck, and how the hell did they have their Earth animals form on their home? Exactly. Rise of the Beast, I like that they tried, and notice how they connected, like some of the atmospheres, the characters, to the designs of what Michael Bay did. But it just, like I said, it's a mess. It's a mess. They just try to please everybody instead of. It was supposed to be another reboot. Bumblebee was a soft reboot, and Transformers One, it was his own thing, but it's just gotten sloppier at this point. Michael Bay doesn't like Christina Hudson's Bumblebee. Yeah, I mean I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. We're now heading to the what Bay Renaissance. because Bay is back at the director's chair for Transformers, baby. Hell yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. Like I said, something should be announced sometime this. I'm thinking. This is just me speculating. We might be hearing something, hopefully, at CinemaCon. CinemaCon is coming up. I think it's in March or something like that. So we should be hearing sometime in the spring or summer, something. So we'll see what's up. Let's see. Yeah, I know. He doesn't he used to be a Snyderverse fan. He's not. Been a long time ago. Rebel Moon 1 and 2 is way better than that god awful Electric State God. That movie is bad and it was directed by the Russo brothers who's directing Doomsday. Oh wow, I didn't even know about that. The Electric State. I don't even know what that one is about. But yeah, I mean, even though they make a good movie doesn't mean that they're gonna put out all good movies. So sometimes that happens. Batman Part 2 might be villains. Two Face Matt Reeves has done his universe is too realistic. What's the lowest you think Doomsday is going to make, and what's the highest you think is going to make? Look, Doomsday. I think the lowest. I'm gonna be honest with you. That movie's gonna make $1 billion. Doomsday. There is no and ifs or buts. The reason why I say that is because one, the Avengers IP is already massive. It's already an established IP. Everybody recognizes the Avengers. They already know. You hear the song, dun 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 dun. You know what time it is. We can't say the same thing for DC because DC has literally slept on the brand of Justice League, unfortunately. But if they would have kept on going, they would have been at the same level. And that's an established IP, the Avengers. Two, you have all these characters in there. Iron Man, freaking, it's too many people. Iron Man, Hulk. I know he's not gonna be in Doomsday, but he's probably gonna be in there. Just saying that. You have all these characters, right? People are gonna go regardless because they want to see these characters when they team up. It's Marvel. Say what you want about them, the MCU, this and that, blah blah blah. People are still gonna go watch them. People are still gonna watch it. It's December, Christmas, holidays, Thanksgiving. Everybody's bored. They're gonna be like, let's go watch that movie. So they're gonna bank. They are going to bank. And Disney knows they did the market right. And they're like, yo, we're gonna tap into the holiday season. We're gonna just destroy the box office. And the Avengers is gonna close with over $1 billion. I'm telling you. They have the Avengers, those characters. They now have the X-Men. All right. So you have two different type of IPs, X-Men and Avengers. Ooh, what is that setting up? Now people's curiosity is returning because, oh, damn, remember where it left off and this and that. Oh, I want to see this. Oh, I think that. So it's gonna start building again, people talking and just word of mouth, free advertising. It's marketing. It's all a marketing strategy. Avengers is not gonna make low numbers. It's not. It's going to destroy the box office. The Avengers is going to be the movie of 2026. I'm telling you right now. There's no and ifs or buts. That's the last movie, and that last movie is going to seal this year with over $1 billion. The Odyssey is gonna make some big numbers from Christopher Nolan, but I don't see it making $1 billion. It's gonna make more than Superman 2025. That's for sure. It's probably gonna be in the probably high 800, almost 900 millions. That's what I'm thinking, but it's not going to be under what Superman made for sure. I mean, that's Christopher Nolan. You have Hans Zimmer. That's already a win-win. WB doesn't have that. They don't. They're going to make money. Both of those movies are going to make money. But Avengers is the movie of the year. They're going to surpass $1 billion. Like that's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. Gunn is finished. The whole Brave and Bold film has nothing but smoke and mirrors to distract people from the Batman 2. Yep, I agree with you. I agree with you. Pete Davidson is not funny and not a great actor. I can't stand Pete Davidson. I really can't. I really can't stand that actor, honestly. It's something about him, man. Sean, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Peter Safran knows he's done in 2027. Yeah, notice how Peter Safran's been very quiet too. He hasn't said squat. And Marvel has a Fantastic Four. There you go. That's another one too. The Fantastic Four. I forgot. So you have Fantastic Four, you have X-Men, and you have the Avengers. Yo, that's why people are saying they're gonna make over $3 billion guaranteed. And I'm starting to think, I'm like, yo, you know what? They're for sure gonna pass $1 billion because you have three different worlds, if you want to say. X-Men, Fantastic Four, and you have the Avengers. Yeah, man. Nah, hell no. There's nothing that could go up against this movie. No, it just can't. It just can't. How's the comic going? Is James Gunn making a cameo? Hell no, he ain't making no damn cameo. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm actually on page 11. So I'm actually I was finishing up some stuff last night on it. And so far it's looking good. I'll be honest with you. I have already semi the cover ready, and I already have 10 official pages with, with the words and everything, the panels and all that good stuff. So I just need probably what, like 16 more pages, because it's like about like 26 pages, the comic and stuff. So, and then that's excluding, not including the covers, because I still have the covers front, I mean inside front, and then so that's three. You're looking at probably like almost 30 pages total. But with everything inside, 26, I have already 10 that are already 100% done, complete. And now I have to finish working the other one. So once I'm done with this live stream, I'm gonna start drawing some more stuff, drawing and sketching the ideas of what I want to do before I finalize it and stuff. So far everything is looking good. It should be releasing sometime in February. And in the comic itself, just so you guys know, it is already entering winter time, and we are in winter right now as we speak in real world time. So I want that setting to be felt when you're reading the comic and stuff like that, and I know people that live probably in areas that snow are gonna enjoy it the most, just because you get to experience that. I don't. I'm in Florida. It's hot as hell out here right now. It's cool because it's cool, but we don't get snow down here. But I'm bringing that into the comic and stuff, that atmosphere, just so you can see what's happening and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm diving a little bit deeper, but there's still gonna be a lot of action and stuff like that. That's my main goal that I'm trying to like bring to everybody and stuff for chapter two, or issue two, whatever the hell you want to call it. Do you think Robert Downey Jr. will find out he was Tony Stark, Avenger, in Doomsday? I don't know. I really don't know. That's why, like I said, I want to see what's gonna happen with his character. Is he Tony Stark? Is he a variant? I hope not. I hope it's not a damn scroll. I really hope it's not. Like hell no. I hope it's not. But again, I don't know what's gonna happen. Nolan will crush a lot of WB films in 2026. That's James Gunn and Zazie will be crying. Yeah, yeah. I can't wait. I want to see Christopher Nolan crush WB this year with whatever they put out. I don't think, and I'm gonna be real with you, I do not think that Dune 3 is going to make high numbers. Hell no. Hell no. And they don't want to move it from December. That's when they're gonna go up against Avengers. Yeah, hell no. Hell no. They have to move it. And even like that, I don't think it's gonna make the high numbers for Dune 3, unfortunately. Supergirl will be in the 200 billions. 200 billions. Maybe millions. Super Slut won't even make a penny. Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 is inevitable. Yep, that's true. I agree with you, Integrity. That's true. It's coming. It's on the way for sure, for sure. How and when, that's the question. But for sure it's coming. That it's gonna happen. There's no doubt about it for sure. Seth Rogen will try to play Batman DCU. Hell no, we don't need Seth Rogen, honestly. Who's the big bad of your comic story? Well, right now I have one main character that he makes a cameo in the first issue. So I threw him in the first one. He makes, his debut. You have to read it to find out who it is. But and he's on issue 2. We're diving more into him, who he is and how he's becoming the crime boss, if you want to say, in this universe. So like I said, everything has a consequence in this comic that I'm doing, and every decision it's gonna have the cause and effect. If you do this, it's gonna affect that. If you don't do this, it's still gonna affect that. So, like I said, I've been working on some stuff with the story, and I'm like, this is gonna be good. But like I said, like you're gonna start seeing now who this villain is. I'm right now just focused on one. There's a small side character that eventually he's going to build up to become another big villain. Later down the road. But they're all there. You're starting to see them now, and then later I'm gonna start connecting them. But you've already pretty much seen them in the beginning of, if you want to say, origins, without really explaining too much. It's just pretty much, oh, yo, he was right there or she was there since the beginning. Because I'm gonna also, have both type of roles, men and women, and you're gonna start seeing. So it's gonna build up something to that. I can't wait to share with y'all, and then we'll start discussing more as it comes out and stuff like that. So hopefully by issue 2 we could talk more about that and stuff like that. Let's see. I like Cage back as Ghost Rider. I wouldn't be surprised if he does come back, especially for Secret Wars, because like I tell y'all, Secret Wars is gonna be focused heavy, like very heavy with variants, and I see him coming back for that. I really do. I really do. Jason Momoa is sad. DCU right now is falling. Let's see. Reef Khan, what's up? What's up? Let's see. Don't get the Dune hype, honestly. Would have preferred Blade Runner, although I get it. Yeah, I saw Dune 1. I wasn't a fan. I fell asleep. I don't know which one's worse to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Dune 1 is very boring for me. I respect the ones that watch it and enjoy it. More power to you. But for me, between Dune and Robert Pattinson's The Batman, that movie was boring too. But I think I want to say that Robert Pattinson's Batman was a little bit more entertaining than what Dune was. Dune to me was straight up a snooze fest. I was like, I can't. Man, I can't. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It's just I don't like that movie. I really don't. Momo also sad about paying child support. Yeah, I mean that sucks in his case. Like that really sucks. Restored the Bavers in 7/10/26. Wallets closed. Yes, we know recon for Moana. Man of Steel using only characters from Superman lore. He defeated Gunn and his movie with who knows how many random characters he chose to think. Yeah, I agree with you, Eric. I mean, what Superman 2025 did was, and people were talking down on Zack Snyder saying, "Oh, he did too much with Man of Steel." I'm like, no, he didn't. He sets up everything good. Everything is to me is good. I'm like, yo, that movie's not perfect, but it's for what it is. It's like freaking is it's awesome. And here we are still all these years later. What are we like 12 years later after Man of Steel? And we're still talking about it like if it was just released within the past 5 years, and it's like who's really talking about Superman? What, the 100 people that follow James Gunn? That's it. Meanwhile, most of the people they all want and they continue to talk about Henry Cavill and the Snyderverse, Man of Steel 2, so much things. We don't see that with James Gunn. And the product for James Gunn's characters they don't sell. They're all on clearance. Everywhere you go, they're all on clearance. Best Buy has them on clearance. They're at Ross for crying out loud, and even at Ross they're not selling. Like I seen them the other day, they were overstocked. They had what it was, I think the big McFarlane statues with Superman and the big kaiju. Those things were just thrown. Like literally, people were kicking them. It looked like, and I was like, damn, this is where what DC has become. And I remember when the Snyder stuff was out, you wouldn't see it like that. And even if you saw it on clearance, probably you saw it like at still a reasonable price. But come on, they went from $10 from these basic figures, the big, I guess they're like 12 inches, and they're now to like $2.99, and they're still overstocked. Nobody wants them. That tells you everything. It's like, yeah, that just says everything. It just doesn't sell. That's the thing. It doesn't sell. Do you think we'll get an R-rated Batman movie with Ben? Oh hell yeah, it has to be R-rated. It has to be. Because it just has to be. Batman's with Ben Affleck has to be a brute. Like especially the Dark Knight Returns. Like yo, we're gonna probably see some flashbacks on that. That has to be strong. If Nick Cage returns to MCU, he'll be treated better than what WB did. Yeah, big time. I think he will be. He'll be. I think he's gonna make. They're just gonna surprise us. But they're probably not gonna be in Doomsday, but they're probably gonna be towards the end setting up, and then we're gonna see all of them over at Secret Wars. Secret Wars, it's gonna be so huge, man. Like that's gonna be nuts. L Turner, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you for joining us, also, brother. Supergirl actor will be shocked. Box office flop. Everybody's gonna be shocked with how bad that's gonna be at the box office. David Cornset wants to meet new Batman actor that will suck. Oh no, James Gunn debunked that. If you're talking about that, I know somebody asked James Gunn. I think it was like recently, within the past few days. I guess I don't know. Somebody had asked him, "Oh, how about putting uh Robert Pattinson to team up with his Superman?" And James Gunn just straight up flat out said nope. He said nope. He was like, nope, hell no. Like in other words, like nope. So yeah, that tells you that he's just he's really just building his own damn thing. And that's what James Gunn just wants to do. He wants to build his own thing, and he wants to leave his quote unquote legacy of all the mess that he's gonna leave behind. And I can't wait for all this to pass. All this has to pass fast. The only shows are talking about Guns universe, anything or everything about that's it. Yeah, that's it. They're the only ones, all these shows. What kind of birds do you have? Well, I have two lovebirds and a cockatiel. So yeah, if you hear them chirping, yeah, they they drive me nuts. Every time they hear me, they always wanna freaking make a cameo too. Let's see. Yeah, birds of prey. Yeah, I'll probably post a picture so y'all can see them and stuff. But so y'all can see all the little ones that are constantly always making noise every time I do a video and stuff for the longest. Batman's DCU should have a gold suit for James Gunn. What I don't like from the Bayverse or movies is the constant change of aspect ratio. It's just really annoying. I mean, in your opinion, that's cool. It's not for everybody. It's just you have to understand. Like when it comes to that, it depends what scene and what you're looking at. So like if you're doing a desert scene, you have to all you sometimes you have to, depending how bright it is out there, you have to decrease it and make it much darker, just because if not it's gonna be too bright, or if you're in an area that is just too dark or it's just too bright, like it's just too much. And then I get the whole ratio and the size and all that stuff. That look, honestly, for me, like as a Snyder fan and a Michael Bay fan, I like widescreen. I've always liked widescreen. One thing I didn't, me, this is just me, my little, I guess, personal thing that I didn't like about the Snyder Cut is the size of the screen. I know it was filmed for IMAX, I understand that. But just seeing it every time, like, man, that's kind of annoying. Like I want the whole full screen. I'm like, I don't mind the widescreen and stuff. That you have the letterbox on the top and the bottom, but it's like, yo, I want to see the whole damn image. Like I want to see the whole damn footage. It's like, I don't know. It's just me. I don't know. I just I don't know. I don't know. It's just I guess a personal preference when it comes to that. James Gunn's trying to delay the Batman 2 as much as possible. The Batman 2 is garbage. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty much that's what it is. You know what's funny? James Gunn wants to do his own thing. He doesn't want a Snyderverse, and he doesn't want Arrowverse. Yeah, he doesn't want anything. He doesn't even want Matt Reeves to have his own universe. It just wants everything's about James Gunn. It's like, and even like that, it's not. It's still not connecting with people. I don't like to have birds as pets. Too much noise. Yeah, they are very noisy. That is true. They constantly make noise. Like you just want to chill there, and they just start chirping, and it's like, man, like like I want peace. It's like they're like, I'm not gonna give you peace. And they just start chirping and stuff. James Gunn was what, trying to get Robert Pattinson in the DCU, but Matt Reeves wants to do his own thing with Batman universe. Yeah, yeah, they're not gonna be connected. So at least that's good for everybody was like, oh, it's probably gonna be part of the same one. At least now we know for sure it's not gonna be. So, I guess is better. So that way when James Gunn's Batman does come out, another flop is gonna be on the way. Are you going to talk about Highlander? Yeah, once it comes out, I'll talk about it and stuff like that. I was actually working on a video for that for the image, but I was like, there's so much that I could pull from that. So I was like, you know what? I'm probably just gonna put the picture and just I guess we just talk from there on that one. But yeah, once the movie does come out, yeah, I do plan on like talking about it and stuff like that. So that's not gonna be an issue for sure. Reason Pattinson don't want to play in Gun Sandbox. Yeah, yeah, they don't. They really don't. Comic book cast guy will be sad. Batman Brave and the Bulls get canceled. Yeah, I mean, what's his name? Arnie, whatever his name is. That dude's straight up a big shill, a big time shill. He's still sad being oh man, the Red Ranger and oh, let's see. Matt Batman sucks. Restore Ben Affleck's Batman verse. Yeah, yeah, big time. We need that. If we want an adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns, what does Deathstroke fit into the equation? Considering that Luther revealed his identity to him at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Very simple. Very simple. You start off. This is what I would do, honestly. To start off The Dark Knight Returns, very simple. You start off in before the events of Batman versus Superman. Very simple. You show when Batman is with Robin with the events. I'm just quick highlighting what I would do. Show those events, flashbacks. Start off the movie, like he's on the rooftop jumping around with Robin because there already been, like some time fighting in Gotham, and then time has progressed, whatever. And then it shows, Jared Leto's Joker before the events of Suicide Squad. So you have that version of Joker, before the Nightmare timeline and all that stuff. And then it shows when he kills off Robin and then connect it later and explain it and how it brings us into Batman versus Superman. These are just quick flashbacks I would do. I'm not entering into details. I'm just giving you some highlights of what I would do. And then explain it and connect it to what we've already gotten, and spend some time, probably like the first 30 minutes of the film during those events. And then probably the second, 30 minutes to make an hour, touch into the events of Batman versus Superman, all that stuff, and then connecting it if you want, just for the hell of it, with some events of Suicide Squad with what you call it with David Ayer, and then while that's happening, it's unfolding, bring it to modern time, be like, oh, like current time, I guess, I don't know, something like that, way before the Nightmare timeline, stuff like that, and then have how at the end of a Justice League that you see Lex talking. I would go back to that and again a flashback just to bring it back, and then it shows you how this Batman, if you want to say, I don't know, in the Dark Knight Returns if he comes out of retirement also, but like he comes back and now focus on freaking Deathstroke explaining his side of the story, because now you're focused on him. You can give him a good like 45 minutes, maybe like probably, and then build it up to where eventually they're gonna fight off. Once they do face each other off, then you want to separate that and start connecting it now and introducing the Nightmare timeline, because that's what I would do towards the end, just because of what's already established, you know. And like Zach said, you know, when you film something, film everything you got, just because you never know what's gonna come from it. I would set up in the sense of, okay, we already touched the events of Batman versus Superman, a little bit of Justice League. This is where we are right now in the Nightmare timeline. You know, it opens the door, you know, to like the future events, and pick up to where things kind of left off, but opening another door in the sense of, well, if the studio does want to continue with the part two of this movie, then we can continue where things left off and explain how does Deathstroke make peace with Batman, and why do they make peace? What causes them to make peace and want to work together? Like how we saw at the end of the Snyder cut, when you see Deathstroke looking literally over at the city and he turns around. Like I would just connect all that like that, you know. Just there's so much that could be built from that and things like that. So yeah, that would be dope. That would be dope, honestly. Let's see. Gun's gonna make. He's gonna ruin Martian Manhunter. Probably have a poof fetish and silly. Yeah, probably that's what he's gonna do. Would rather see another Ben Affleck's Batman movie. Same here. We need a Will Smith Deadshot movie. Yeah, yeah, we really do. I would love to see Deadshot. You know, in a standalone film with Ben Affleck. Yo, that would be dope. You imagine that, a Batman 2 with Deadshot, just the whole movie. Yo, that would be awesome. That really would be. Do you think we'll get what is it? Get what, rated R Doomsday? Nah, I don't think we're gonna see a R-rated Doomsday. That'll be too much. Disney is not gonna do that. They'll push a strong PG-13, but not a R-rated. Nah, Deadpool, yeah, but not for the Avengers. They can't do that for Avengers. It's too much money that they'll lose, so that they can't risk that. Any plans on playing the new Lego Batman? Seems like it's good. Although more on original than the first one. I'm not sure if it's already out. Then yeah, I could probably check it out. Um, I could get a way to play it and stuff. So yeah, if it's out, then I'll probably get it. If you could visit Gotham or Metropolis in real life, which one would you choose? Gotham. Screw Metropolis. I'm sorry, but Gotham. I would go to Gotham all day. Shoot, yeah, Gotham. Honestly, I don't want Deathstroke to kill Alfred. I hope that changes when the Batfleck movie is made. Let's be real. Look, this could happen, Austin. Think about this. If you've played Arkham Origins, they kill Alfred. Remember, Bane kills Alfred, and Batman brings him back. You know, he uses, I guess, the shock gloves or whatever, and he gives him like what was it? He gives him the shocks in the chest, and he revives him. So something like that could happen also. I'm not saying that that's exactly what's gonna happen, but you know, it would be touching, and it would. I think it would add more heart to the movie in the sense of, because everybody's fond of Alfred and stuff. So you know, it's like he's like the parent, the guardian, if you want to say role model type. So that would be a little bit more emotional to the movie. You know, I think it would add more a more feel to it. So I wouldn't be mad about that, as long as they don't fully kill him off. You know, and then he comes back or whatever. You know, like they can always do that. Remember, we were saying the same thing with Batman. I think it was Batman Forever. No, Batman and Robin. When Alfred was also sick and stuff like that, and you know they get the cure from Mister Freeze and stuff. So I mean, they could do something similar like that. You know, they don't really have to cut him off, but yeah, something like that would be nice. Just because it would add to the story, I guess. I would see Thomas Jane return as the Punisher for Secret Wars. Yeah, I think they're all gonna come back. Honestly, we need a Deathstroke solo movie, live action. Yeah, yeah, we really do. Also, Netflix wants to do more with Zack and more Snyderverse on the way. Yeah, exactly, and that would be perfect. Netflix would be good doing that because they're very good at making how do you say what is it that they call those things, like not like a whole full movie, but they do like episodes. I guess I don't know, you know, and it's like they're like an hour long. So yeah, they could do that. They could do that. You know, the same way they did Squid Games, that they have like a whole season. They could do the same thing. So yeah, why not? I would not oppose to that. Affleck is coming. Yeah, for sure. He's on the way. He's already there. Netflix right now as we speak. The Rip. If you haven't seen it, y'all gotta watch that movie. That movie's pretty good. You know, like that movie's pretty solid. I was like, damn. You know, like seeing Ben Affleck again. I was like, yeah, that was pretty dope. Bad enough fans like myself are pissed at DC for killing Alfred off in the comics. Yeah, yeah, I don't blame y'all. You know, like it's like I said. You know, like you have to remember sometimes, and that's something that I'm putting in my comic book. Everything has a consequence. Unfortunately, you know, it's like sometimes these heroes, they have to protect their loved ones. And let's be real. Remember Christopher Nolan when he said with with the Dark Knight Rises when he was training the cop that I don't consider that Robin, but whatever, Blake I guess was his name. And then he was like, "Oh, I don't mind if the criminals see my face. It doesn't matter." And he's like, "I don't wear the mask for me. It's for your loved ones, to protect your loved ones. Because remember, whenever these criminals go after somebody, they don't go after you. They can't find you because you have a mask and or a cow or whatever. They're gonna go after your loved ones because that's how they are. They're freaking disgusting like that. That's why to me, when I see Batman kicking ass and like literally taking down all these villains, he has to do what he has to do. That's when people are like, "Oh, Batman doesn't kill." You're right, he doesn't kill. But in the Snyderverse, if he has to, he has to. What the hell? Like, why is everybody complaining? Like when he's with the warehouse scene, like the guy comes out with the little grenade and he's trying to shank Batman. Remember the dude that's trying to fight him? Batman literally is protecting himself. He pushes the dude into that little room, and the little grenade goes off with him. Boom. You think he's gonna survive that? No, let's be real. He's not. It's a freaking the dude went out. He just went out. Batman didn't do it on purpose. He's protecting himself. These are criminals. It's either you take them out or they take you out. And that's something the same thing like with Alfred. Like don't think that all these criminals are not gonna want to go after him, and especially knowing that, oh, okay, that's your close one, your loved one. Like I could see Deathstroke going after him. I could see the Riddler going after him. Like Catwoman, not so much. Like Two Face, maybe just to like taunt Batman, but like Deathstroke, Deadshot, characters like that, yeah, I see those going after Alfred, and probably after like Bruce Wayne's love interest, if you want to say whoever it is, because that's how they are. They're like, okay, we got something against you. That's pretty much how it comes to those characters and stuff. Let's see. We need to see why Deathstroke wants to kill Batman. I think it's because Batman's responsible for Deathstroke's son's death. Could be. Could be. I saw the rip from a couple of days ago, or weeks ago. It's bombastic. Yeah, it's a good movie. It's really good. I think we can all agree that Jin destroyed the Kingdom Come Superman symbol in his movie because of Jor-El's absurd personality change. Yeah, that logo's kind of funky. Yeah, a lot of people don't like it, but I mean, what can we do? It's like it is what it is at this point. It's like the hell. It's a shame, but what can we do? It's interesting. But at the same time, it's kind of weird. So yeah, I kind of agree with you on that a little bit. But it is what it is at this point. What can we do? Kind of. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty much it for today. I'm about to start drawing. I'm about to get on this comic. You saw some of the parts of Transformers 2007 on Paramount last night. Yeah, yeah. That's when Paramount was really cooking. Like they really had their act together, and it's a shame. After that, like I kind of lost interest. Like, and that says a lot. It's like, damn, who would have thought that? Like after Michael Bay, the Transformers IP was going to be suffering again. And that's where it's at right now. It's unfortunately it's suffering, when it comes to their cinematic universe. The video game department, it's dead 100%. Like there's nothing good. And we were supposed to get that Transformers reactivate, and that got canceled. So, yeah, Paramount's doing pretty bad when it comes to the Transformers IP. So, they need to get their act together, because if by 2029, we're in 26, 7, 8, 9, 3 years they don't get their act together, yeah, they're gonna lose everything when it comes to the Transformers, unfortunately. So, again, we'll see what's up. We'll see what happens and stuff like that. But it is what it is. But with that being said, my friends, about to get going. I'm gonna start drawing this issue 2. Try to see if I can finish up some more stuff. But until then, I'm gonna catch y'all probably on the next one. I'll see if something comes up. I'll tune in later on again, and we'll probably do another live stream. If not, then I guess tomorrow I'll be back sometime. Or if I do come back later on, I'll probably do another live stream with Arkham Knight that we were playing the other night. So we'll just chill and vibe with that and stuff like that. But until then, peace out, my friends.